Well, Rahul Gandhi is currently on a 2-week visit to the United States, and he's currently speaking at the University of Berkeley.
Our strength so far has been that we have done all this peacefully. What can destroy our momentum is the opposite energy: hatred, anger, and violence, and the politics of polarization, which has raised its ugly head in India today. Violence and hatred distract people from the task at hand. Liberal journalists being shot, people being lynched because they are Dalits, Muslims killed on suspicion of eating beef. This is new in India and damages India very badly. The politics of hate divides and polarizes India, making millions of people feel that they have no future in their own country. In today's connected world, this is extremely dangerous. It isolates people and makes them vulnerable to radical ideas. Finally, listening to India is very important. She will give you all the answers that you seek. India's institutions have over 70 years built a profound understanding of our country. We have experts in every single field. Ignoring India's tremendous institutional knowledge and taking ad hoc decisions is reckless and dangerous. Decisions like demonetization, which removed 86% of cash from circulation overnight and was carried out unilaterally without asking the chief economic advisor, the cabinet, or even parliament, imposes a devastating cost on India. Currently, we are not producing enough jobs. 30,000 new youngsters are joining the job market every single day. 30,000. And yet, the government is only creating 500 jobs a day. And this does not include the massive pool of already unemployed youngsters. The decline in economic growth today is worrying and is leading to an upsurge of anger in the country. The government's economic policies, demonetization, and a hastily applied GST have caused tremendous damage. Millions of small businesses were simply wiped out as a result of demonetization. Farmers and manual laborers who use cash were hit extremely hard. Agriculture is in deep distress, and farmer suicides have skyrocketed across the country. Demonetization, a completely self-inflicted wound, caused approximately 2% loss in India's GDP. India cannot afford to grow and create jobs at the current rate. If we continue at the current rate, if India cannot give the millions of people entering the job market employment, anger will increase, and it has the potential to derail what has been built so far. That will be catastrophic for India and the world beyond it. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi at the University of Berkeley, and now answering questions about India at 70. Listen in.
As I said, I was friends with the people who killed my grandmother. And I sat in a room one day. I'll tell you two stories. I sat in a room one day, and a Sikh gentleman came in. And he was a Congress MLA. And he sat down and he said to me, Mr. Gandhi, I can't believe I'm sitting in the same room with you. This was some time back. So I said, why? He said, because 15 years ago, if I'd walked into this room with you, I'd have killed you. Political currents shape people in strange ways. They release anger, they make people hate each other, but the only way forward, the guy hugged me after that, the only way forward is to go to the person who's angry with you, talk to him, and understand what it is that is bothering him. That's the only way forward. There's no other way forward. Because if you carry out violence against somebody, it doesn't end there. It will always be a cycle. It'll go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and won't help anybody.
There have been a number of questions raised about among the audience about the Congress Party and where it's headed. So people are curious. Just a couple of things. First is, where do you think the Congress Party is falling short, if it is in any way, as an opposition party? And over the last 3 years, you've had some time to think and introspect. What have you learned about rebuilding a party organization in these few years?
See, any party in India that is in power for 10 years will run into a problem. It's just natural. India is a complex country. Normally you don't win more than a term in a row. And we won 2 terms. The vision that we had laid out in 2004 was designed at best for a 10-year period. And it was pretty clear that the vision that we had laid out in 2004, by the time we arrived at 2010-11, it was already not working anymore. And the Congress Party, unlike the BJP and the RSS, is basically a conversation. Most of my work is sitting in a room listening to people. This is what I think, 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 and collecting all that information and then coming out with a solution that makes everybody happy. So the way we design policies or the way we design a vision is not by standing up there and saying, listen, this is what I think, I'm going to tell you, this is what we're going to do. We design a vision by having a conversation. And somewhere around 2012, and I'll say this, a certain arrogance crept into the Congress Party. And they stopped having that conversation. So rebuilding the Congress Party is a couple of things. One is designing a vision that India can use going forward. If you look at most of the things the BJP is doing, they're basically what we said. They're central programs. They said they'd finish off Narega. They carried it on. GST is our program. So the central architecture is they've borrowed from us. But that architecture doesn't work. We know it because it stopped working. So for us, there's 2 things. One is make a transition, and a smooth one, between the sort of senior people and younger people. You can't just brush aside all senior people. So you have to bring people together, you have to put some new faces, you have to put some old faces. That's a compromise. So that's one aspect. But the main thing is, you know what I said there, India has unleashed 400-500 million people. And now it's not good enough for us to say that we're not going to give them a vision. It can't be done. Because if you don't give them a vision, then you enter a very dangerous space. And really what has happened is, if you look at India from about 2012, and we're to blame for at least 2 to 3 years of that, India has basically lost its vision. And that conversation has to be had.
You said something interesting about the central architecture doesn't work. Could you say a little bit more about why you think the central architecture that you had put in place has stopped working or doesn't work so well?
It's not only ours. It's not only ours. You know, some years back, a leader from one of the European countries came, and I was having a chat with him, and I asked him a very simple question. I said, you know, I understand all this you're saying to me about globalization. Just answer me one question. because I don't understand how you're going to get that answer. I said, what is it? I said, please explain to me how you intend to get employment for the large majority of your population, the blue collar space. How are you going to get employment for those people? And his answer shocked me. He said, I can't. And I said, well, if you can't, there's going to be a real problem. And he's like, yeah, there's going to be a real problem. Two things have happened. The first thing is, if you look at who is producing jobs, pretty much the only country that is actually producing jobs at scale is China. They're doing so because they have a particular type of coercive machinery. They have a particular type of environment where they can manage factories with 30,000 people, 50,000 people.
Rahul Gandhi at Berkeley talking about creation of jobs, how the BJP has let down the people, and about how the Congress is the one which gave a vision to the country. Quick break, more on the other side.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.